Hi there, welcome back to joshuabergercarpentry.com, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing impact drivers. The impact drivers I'm going to be reviewing are the Makita 14.4 3 amp 69335 FD versus the Makita BTD136. As you can see, if we can get a close up here, Tom, there's a few features and differences between the two drivers. This driver, the new one, is 3 cm smaller compared to its rival or previous old school impact driver. Other features include, on this particular driver, you have a battery gauge and different speeds, whereas this old school version really is quite simple. It's just forward and reverse. So in this test I will be using the two drivers, and the test that we'll be really seeing is speed and strength. I've set up a series of screws. These are 3-inch PZ2 head screws, 4-inch PZ2 head screws, and a pair of Spax 140mm and Spax 160mm. The Spax use a star head fitting as opposed to the PZ2 fitting. So let's the test begin. But just before then, the bits that I'm going to be using for the purpose of this test, if we can get a close-up of these, Tom, are the Makita torsion screw bit set. Now, they're a reversible bit, so we have a PZ2 head on either end. I do recommend these. They stick on the screw perfectly well, almost too well. Sometimes it's hard to remove them. When they do eventually fail, they tend to fail around the bit end, not the neck, and as you can see on this, it shatters, but due to the reversible nature, you can just reverse it and carry on using the other end. So, let's test the two drivers. The lithium ion versus the old Makita. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Now, as you can see, surprisingly enough, that the old Makita, my old faithful, seems to be faster than the new, its new arrival. So let's test this again on some 4-inch screws. 3, 2, 1. Now, interestingly enough, it seems that on this test, the newer version, the lithium-ion version, is faster. Now, the spec on this in fact has 160 Nm of torque versus the 140 Nm version of torque on this one. So maybe that could account for it. Let's just try the test again and see how it goes. 3, 2, 1. Well, we have the reverse result, so you tell me. Now, let's move up a bit and try the Spax 140mm screws. Like I said, these are star head. I should have mentioned that we're actually fixing for this test into sections of 18mm MDF, which have been glued and screwed together. There are 12 pieces of 18mm MDF, which gives us plenty enough depth to test out this length of screw. So now I'm going to change the bits on these for the star head bit. They're now both loaded. Right, let's see how this goes. 3, 2, 1. This may be just by a hair's breadth, but nothing really noticeable in it. Both easy enough to use, no pressure on the wrists, equally comfortable use. Right, let's try the last ones. On this one, I think I'll try reversing hands to see if there's any changes, because I'm naturally right-handed, so maybe that would have an effect on things. On this test, we're going to actually put them in and then reverse them. 3, 2, 1. seems to work well, be more efficient. Let's reverse them and see how this works. 3, 2, 1. Wow, as you can see, it reversed the screw quicker than it seems to drive it in. Now what is interesting about this feature of this drill, which not necessarily is a good one, is that when I first purchased this, I noticed that if you ran this in a clockwise motion for driving in screws, it sounds slower than its reverse option. I don't know if you can hear this on there, but if you get closer to them, then maybe. That's reverse. That's screwing in screws. As you can see, it sounds slightly lower, and that would make me think that's actually slightly slower, but I don't know why you'd want to be able to remove screws faster than you want to drive them in. So, what's my overall judgment? Well, I'm sticking, I hate to say it, with my old Makita one because I just prefer the feel of it. It has a thicker handle, as you can see on this one, which I think, ultimately if you're not too careful at times and you end up stepping on your tools, the thinner handle that's in danger of breaking, that could also be a problem. And furthermore, one other final feature which is worth pointing out is that I personally find using drivers, instead of having a 90-degree angle on them, I prefer them to have a slight pitch on them. For whatever reasons, it makes it easier to use and more comfortable to hold and work with. So, hopefully you found this review helpful. Like I said, I'm recommending this driver versus its current new driver. Any other details which I've missed out, I shall put at the end of this video, and thanks again for watching. And like I said, you can follow more videos and see things that I make on joshuabergercarpentry.com. Thanks again, and bye. Yeah.